Hi everyone.
Have a thrilled day for all of you are present here. First of all, I warmly welcome our YouTube friends and Zoom friends too. But not only them, everyone who joined with us for this beautiful STEM. You all know International Language School means do different kind of things in different and suitable occasions. Previously, we have already done so many exotic and impressive talk shows. If we reverse about those, we have done Talk with Dr. Chris, Talk with Mr. Dance, Talk with Public Speaker Miss Taiba. Those are also so interested. So guys, today also we are joined with one piece of it. First of all, I would like to ask like that. Have you heard about Denmark? It's a country in Europe. So with us we have a public speaking coach from that beautiful country. She is Miss Irina. I warmly welcome Miss Irina for this beautiful program. Okay, guys, to welcome our Miss Irina, I would like to invite Netula Virasinghe. Netula, your moment to deliver the welcome speech has arrived.
Mutiny. Hello, good evening, everybody. Today we have a wonderful and amazing program with Madam Irina. First, I welcome our Madam Irina and now Principal of the International Language School, Mr. Sampan Navaratna, and our team, ILS Speech Masters team for this program. Madam Irina is a public speaker in Denmark. She has a lot of experience about the public speaking. And today, those who participate in this program can talk with Madam Irina and get a lot of experience and get a lot of advices from her. I think this evening will be a wonderful, amazing, and beautiful evening for our lives. Thank you.
Yes, Netula, you gave super energized for the very beginning. So, ladies and gentlemen, ILS Sri Lanka means not only making speakers, make leaders too. So, why we want to talk about that? Further, we all know about ILS mean a marvelous and secret magic. So, guys, when we fall into well, we are among the wonderful people live inside the well without looking for a way to out. We welcome our Sir who sacrificed his life for us. That means for the children. So, dear Sir, our all eyes are on you. Please rise up your brave voice. This is Principal of our International Language School, Mr. Sampath Navaratna.
Yes, good evening from Sri Lanka. And I warmly welcome Mrs. Irina from Denmark for the beautiful program called talk with Irina, organized by International Speech Masters from Sri Lanka. So I born from Sri Lanka, and welcome to our beautiful program. So as the International Speech Masters Club of Sri Lanka, we have been doing talk shows among the native speakers, among the foreigners, among the mentors, among the educational leaders who come from the world. And that is very important to build up our skills, our students' talents, too colorful their life. And I warmly welcome you, Miss Irina, to the beautiful program. So when I look at you, I see the world. When I look at my beautiful students, I do see the world. So this kind of programs, among this kind of programs, we are hoping the cooperative things, the valuable, right, gain valuable, sharing our ideas, not only our experience, more than education. So that's an amazing program which we have made so far. So beginning with, I do want to say, Ms. Irina, so talking with the foreigners, that's a new present to us, because we have done many programs in Sri Lanka on behalf of that kind of programs. So I do want to say thank you our past leaders who comes from different countries, different cultures. And I have our lovely parents, our lovely students. I warmly welcome to the program. And we enjoy with the Miss Irina.
As you told, sir, by your small and each words also, we got a large meaning. So, guys, in this incredible moment, I don't know what I need to do. Actually, first of all, can you show your heart reactions for honor for our Miss Irina?
Hi, Irina, good evening. Hi, good evening from Sri Lanka. Welcome to our program. How are you?
Good evening. I'm great. Thank you, Sampa, and thank you, Speech Master and Natula, for wonderful introduction. So I assume we can make our chat active before we start, because I will ask some questions to you. And Sampa, should we start from my workshop tonight, or you can ask me some questions before we start?
Yes, I would like to ask some questions, the first questions from our speech master and our super senior speech master, the president of the International Speech Masters Club, Tadini Damya. This is your chance to talk with Miss Irina, who comes from Denmark, as the chief guest of this beautiful program.
All right. I'm ready for questions. Hi.
Hi, madam. How are you?
Can you repeat your question, please? Tadinia, I assume we have some problems with sound. Maybe you can type your question in the chat.
Can you hear me?
No, I cannot hear you. Sampa, can you hear Speech Master?
I'm sorry. Yes, right. Yes, Samadhi Apsara, right? You can talk to Miss Irina.
That's some problems with the sound, I assume, on a Tajimi's side.
Hello, Miss Irina.
Yeah, hi, that's better, thanks.
How are you feeling today?
I'm great. It's an honor to be here tonight with you. Thanks for the invitation.
Okay, so I have lots of things to know about you, but now I took the best thing I won't ask from you. First of all, say me, what are your future plans and your motivation that makes you aim at that target?
Great question. From the very beginning, you're like aimed to my the whole purpose. I assume that we are here to develop ourselves. We are here on this earth. And I like to learn every day. I like to learn new things about myself, about psychology, about some sciences, new languages. And that is my motivation. And it's very interesting. And you never die actually when you will constantly learning, because your brain will work and you will be active even if you will become old.
Wow, great! Thank you very much. So, what is your favorite things and how do you enjoy it?
My favorite thing now is to spend time with my family, of course. Also, I like to speak on public. I like provide different trainings, to plan events, for example, birthday parties, conferences, meetings of expats community in Denmark. That's I learned to do in Toastmasters, even in Russia before relocation. And I like cooking and dancing and singing, as well as you, I assume.
Wow, I also loved them. So, how about now situation around you? It means about you, your working place, your living place, like those things?
About my plans. So I live in Denmark almost for 2 years now. My plan for now, until the new year, is to improve my level of Danish, firstly, and start to work as a public speaking trainer in Danish as well. That's why I am here educating in 2 schools, 2 Danish schools, Danish language and Danish literature. And I also conducting several events for expats in Russian, English, and I'm trying to do it in Danish as well. And my other plans is to spend more time to my family, to dedicate time to my family.
So, thank you very much. You are a public speak coach. So, when you talk in the stage, what are your feelings? I'd like to know them.
Great question as well. Every time I'm very nervous, even now, especially now, because the more important this speech for you, the more nervous you are. That's normal thing. And I like to practice my speech several times in order to be more relaxed. So I feel nervousness and anxiety every time before I start to speak. But when I start to think about my key message, my main idea, why am I here tonight? And I became more relaxed.
Thank you very much for joining with me, and I love your brave voice. Thank you very much, Miss Irina.
I like your voice.
Yes, thank you. And Miss Irina, right, you can conduct the meeting.
Thank you. So we will start our main program right now. Thank you again for wonderful questions and warm welcoming. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's better to say, my workshop will be dedicated to multicultural communication. But before we start, I would like to ask you, no, not before we start. It's one intro about me, because not everything has been told. So just for your understanding, I started my public speaking journey at Toastmasters, as it was mentioned before. It was in Russia before my relocation to Denmark. I started my career as a public speaking trainer also in 2019 in Russia, and I became a storytelling trainer. Later, I have a job in a storytelling academy online. And since 2020, I'm living in Denmark with my family. I have a sales experience in B2B, that means business to business. I used to sell different machines, laser cutting machines, plasma cutting machines. Sounds serious, right? I worked with different plants all over the Russia and outside Russia. I worked with different suppliers from different countries and different cultures. Some kind of Turkey, Germany, China, Austria, Spain, these countries, and Denmark as well. And also one of my hobby that I didn't mention before is yoga. I am in Kundalini tradition, and I assume you are familiar with this tradition. Send a plus in the chat if you are in this as well. And also you can react, you can make our reactions, you can use them in order I could see if you are active tonight. So I would like to share something about cultural communication, multicultural experience with you. And what are your plans? I would like to see if you are interested in this topic and how exactly. Who would like to relocate? Please send one in the chat if you would like to relocate in the future to start your education or job in other country outside Sri Lanka. I cannot see the chat right now. It's not so active. You can just type 1, 2, or 3. Like that, in order I would see. Who has a dream about working in international organization? Also, you can put some reactions on that questions. And by working in international organization, I mean not only relocation, but also work online in a big corporation, multicultural and international one. And who is interested in the learning our cultures and traditions? Who is interested in meeting new people? I assume that everyone, because you are invited me as a guest, as an international guest, and it is your tradition, as I have found out tonight. So I think you are interested in that, but also you can put the number in the chat. I cannot see any answers, but I hope it will be in the future. Or we have 84 participants and nobody reacts. That's strange. All right. Maybe chat is disabled. All right, then maybe you can put some reactions here. Yeah. So if you are interested in that, I would share some of my experiences about multicultural communication. We live in a global world, and modern technologies let us to participate in online meetings, for example, with people all around the world. We can meet people the same day from Saudi Arabia, Alaska, USA, China, Japan, Chile. It was especially relevant to COVID times when every Toastmasters club met online. So it was incredible to see how closely we can connect to each other by internet. And we can have friends from different continents and work online for companies with a headquarters somewhere in the USA again, for example, thousands and thousands of kilometers from our home. So technically, there is no problem to communicate. Of course, sometimes we have like internet or electricity problems. Put some reactions if you have these kind of problems. But what about psychology? Psychology cannot be solved by some technical way, as we can solve it if we speak about electricity. we look at the world through our own, like, cultural glasses. So every time it's very subjective. It's up to you how to look on the outside world. So sometimes we can misunderstand people from other cultures. I would like to show some example for you. We can interpret behavior of other people in the wrong way. You can see here the bus stop in Norway, and you can see how long, how far distance is. So why? What do you think? You can type in the chat, like, variants, your own opinion. Why people are standing so far from each other? Sampa, maybe you can show an example and type in the chat, what do you think? You know, I would see that you are actually attentive. So people in Norway. All right, thank you, speech master. I can see some private messages. Maybe it is with delay. We will see later. But thank you for your answer. So in Norway, people are very attentive to their own personal space. For example, in India, you can see another situation with the bus stop. People are very close to each other. There is like no distance between them. But in Norway, you have to have 2 or 3 meters of personal space around yourself in order to feel safe, in order to feel free to do anything. But what if we will have a tourist from other country, from our culture in Norway, and he has his own tradition? He can stand up here right near this girl, very close to her, and she would feel uncomfortable because she is Norway. She could stand up from him. She could go maybe 2 meters away from him. And this could be not so appropriate for him from the first time. If this person are not familiar with Scandinavian culture. And what if this person, I mean tourist, will wear another clothes with some symbolics, with religious symbolics. So variance could be multiple here. He could think something negative about these people. Why did they go away from me? Am I not appropriate enough for them? Is it negative to wear some clothes? But no, the answer is no. That's very simple. People's value is a distance. So they need just personal space, and that's it. So that's how misinterpretation can cause some problems. And in order to be successful communicators in the international company and to have many international friends, you need to know something about other cultures and about our traditions. And I prepared several examples for you. You can also use the chat and answer me if you knew this or not. For example, did you know that we have, Japanese and Chinese have very strict traditions about punctuality. In Japan, you are being late if you are late 5 minutes already. So this means that you are not respectful enough to other people. You are not value. This is not your value, the time of others. Yeah, thank you. I can see another question, another answer in the chat. Thank you, speech master. Only speech master answers me, but that's okay. So once again, about time. Punctuality is one of the key values in Japan. So 5 minutes late and you can be fired already. And in Brazil, we have a totally opposite situation. They have even the word mañana. This word from Spanish could be translated as sometimes, somehow, I don't know when, but sometimes in the future. For example, wife can ask husband, when would you like to repair this window? Or mañana, dear, sometimes, I don't know when. And these words can totally reflect the time culture in Brazil. For example, if you are invited to the party in Brazil to 5 p.m. and you will be here at 7 p.m., you still could be the very first guest. And if you will come at 5:30, maybe host, the owner of this house, will be still doing shopping or clearing the house. And punctuality is strictly important not only in Japan, but in Switzerland and Scandinavian countries as well. So that's one question from that's one example about punctuality. Another example about food in different countries. For example, in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and in other countries from Middle East, and these countries as well, there is a tradition to leave some food on the plate in order to show that you are full. And if you don't leave any food, so your plate will be empty, so the host will add you more and more food because you are not full. And that could be dangerous for your health, right? And about tea, also you can see here a beautiful picture with piala. Piala is a special word for a cup for tea. And that's strictly important in Kazakhstan, for example, to add the tea to honored guests. And that is honor for host, like to serve the guest with the tea every time. And if you don't leave any tea in your piala, in your cup, that means that you are ready to go, you are ready to leave this house. So be attentive to this tradition when you will be in Kazakhstan, for example, or in other country, Uzbekistan, for example. And there is such tradition in North Africa as well. Another example, did you know that if you are visiting your friend in an Arabic house and give a compliment to any object, for example, the furniture, I don't know, table or beautiful teapot, the owner should give it to you. So she or he would be obliged to give it to you as a present because you really liked this object. So be careful when you will be visiting your friends in Arabic countries. There are a lot of different traditions. And this tradition here with the business cards, that is from my past experience, when I worked with China suppliers. In China and Japan, there is a tradition to exchange business cards like that with the two hands, with the help of two hands. It shows full respect to other partner, to other person. And if you give your business card like that, only with other hand, in Europe, it will be all right. It's totally normal. But in China or Japan, it could be like you are like a little bit arrogant. Maybe you don't even show any respect to person you are exchanging business cards with. So also be careful when you are exchanging business cards. And I cannot see any answers in the chat. Did you know about it or not? So please feel free to leave your answers here. It's interactive workshop, but I will continue with my own stories. Yeah, I can see the answer. China and Japan control their money better than our countries. That's why it has been able to reach such a high level. Maybe speech master, I wouldn't say that Switzerland not controls their money, for example. But thank you for your reaction. And what about my life? I would like to tell you about something from my childhood. In my childhood, I was in a Russian school with a 5-grade system. One is totally awful. It's the worst ever, the worst example ever, for example. Grade 2 means the bad. You can see here on the photo, very bad. 3 means like satisfying, okay, but you can do better and better. 4 means, okay, I like that. 4 means cool, great, fine, just fine, but not excellent. And 5 means excellent. That is not perfect system. And usually this is a system from our Soviet Union past. And usually my teachers didn't emphasize much like positive and my strength. They emphasized my mistakes, what I did wrong. Of course, they wanted better for me. They wanted me not to repeat my mistakes. And I grew up in this system, in this tradition, and I was totally sure that it would be great if I would not praise people, but emphasize their mistakes first, in order they would know how to do their best. And when I came to Toastmasters, I became familiar with another system, positive reinforcement, as you can see on this picture. Positive reinforcement means that you have to mark strong sides first. What this person did better or the best. What is his or her best sides, best qualities. And that's how you can provide motivation. That's how you can encourage this person to grow and to work hard. I should stop as I can see some answers. All right, thank you. Always thinking about the bright side. I have heard that the ending of our return to the last one will be a very good one. So I think that the second one is the best chance. All right. Okay. And I can see that someone in the chat informs me about disconnection. Okay. I got it. Thank you for information. So not everyone can leave your answers here, but you can comment on YouTube because we are streaming now. So I think that's okay. So that's my first example. And when I started my journey as a Toastmasters, I was introduced to this system of positive reinforcement when firstly you praise with a person, after that some critics. It's not actually critics, it's like recommendation, what we could do better. And again, motivation. You are the best, you can do everything you can. I can see another answers. All right, thank you. And when I started to improve my way of motivate people, I learned how to praise people. I saw that it's actually a very powerful tool in our life, not only in Toastmasters, but in our everyday life. I started to communicate in other way with my mother, and she started to praise me, because that example was not only about my teachers, but also about my mother. She had another opinion about positive reinforcement. She thought that it's wrong, and if you are praising your child many times, very often, this child could grow up like arrogant person. Now it sounds very funny because we have nowadays totally different culture. Another example about female active roles. Some of you may be already in the age of young adults, more than 14 years. And when I started to be young adult, I started to be interested in a relationship with boys, of course. My mom told me, be active. Don't wait before the guy invites you to the date. Invite him herself, start to talk with him. As I was a little bit frustrated about our relationship, sometimes guy who I was interested in didn't show any interest to me. I started to think about her advice and started to improve my behavior, but it was not so successful. As I lived in Russia, and in Russia, we still have all this tradition about strong men role in the relationships. So every time when I made a very first step, every time it was like a fail, because men thought that they can manipulate me or they can ignore me, etc., etc. And when I was already, I think, 28, I started to attend several trainings about relationship. And there was an explanation of this type of behavior. It's not the theme of our training, and maybe it's too early for you now, but in some traditions like Eastern or Russian traditions, it's better that the man is proactive and the man goes first. The man steps forward. Of course, woman should encourage him to do this, but it's only about men. It's only his decision how to make the very first step. And the most successful relationship which I had was with my husband, which I have now in Denmark. And he, of course, he made every first step in our relationships. But when I relocated to European country in Denmark, I found out that the mom's advice, my mom's advice, I mean, could be okay here. It could be very positive experience for me if I would start my active life in relationship here, because one of the values, the most important values in European countries and especially in Scandinavia is gender equality. So men and women are equal. They have equal rights and they have a right to be proactive in relationships, in politics, everywhere. But it depends on the country. And you can see that I didn't hear my mom sometimes, and I succeeded. By the way, I have a Russian husband, so that's why maybe I had a success in this. So another example about Janteloven. Please type in the chat if you know what does it mean. Maybe before our meeting you read something about Danish traditions, maybe not. Janteloven is the unwritten law. That means it's not a written law. It's not like a legal or juridic document. It's just a law about our behavior in Danish society, that everyone should be equal. There are, I think, 10 or 13 rules in this law. And that's about you should not think that you are better than other person. You are not smarter than others, and don't show yourself as the best person in this room. So everyone is equal. Again, it's about equal rights. And when I just relocated to Denmark, I started to ask people who has been living here already for 15, 20 years about cultural specifics, about communication in Denmark. Some people I met, especially at the age of 50 plus, so not old, but middle age, told me that I would be extremely attentive. I should be extremely attentive, speaking about myself, as Janteloven, this law, takes place in Denmark. So be normal, you are not smarter or better than others, and be careful while speaking about your strong sides, even at job interview, even if you are in sales. And for me, it was unbelievable. And even though I was prepared my own public speaking course with adaptation to Danish culture. That means public speaking basics, but with some adjustments in order we could use these basics here in Denmark. And very first lesson in this course is about bright self-presentation. Bright self-presentation, how to speak about your strong sides. So that was very confusing for me. How should I present this course and this particular lesson to people if we have Janteloven? So I did my own research and found out it was a research among expats from Russia and in other countries and among Danish people. Different professions, different geography in Denmark. And according to 90% of respondents, Janteloven is no longer active in Denmark. And for young generation, no longer active. And for example, for eastern part of the country, where the capital Copenhagen is, it's not so relevant. Comparing with the western part, you can see on the map it's a Jutland. This part's name is Jutland. So you can see here a young person with a t-shirt and some uncensored words. I hide this for you, but you can assume what it is. So no Janteloven, this means. And that's how I made my own conclusion. In order to learn more about any culture, you should make everyone your own research. Do your own research and make your own conclusion. That's very simple moral here, maybe. But I hope that examples from my life will be more convincible for you tonight. But how to do it? How to do the research? You can use, again, modern technologies, for example, internet, with the YouTube videos. I prepared 2 videos for you, and you can watch it afterwards about culture, how culture drives behaviors, and why cultural diversity matters. These videos are from TED Talks, but you can also do your own research, again, about culture and find in YouTube any other videos. You can also find the books about culture. For example, in Denmark, we have 2 famous books. I think we have more, but I have found 2 for tonight. How to Be Danish, A Short Journey into the Mysterious Heart of Denmark by Patrick Kinsley. And my favorite one is from a British journalist, The Year of Living Danishly. I have it in Russian here. It's about hygge style. Hygge, if you know this word, that means like you are comforting yourself in the evening near the chimney with your loved ones. You're drinking hot wine or tea or coffee and you feel relaxed. And that is hygge, or Danish happiness. So if you are planning to relocate in other country, you can also find a book about this country and ask people. Of course, ask people. We have this international community. We have different Facebook pages. So communicate with international, participate in Toastmasters meetings or another communities all over the world, which take place online. And you can make your own conclusions. And I can see the answer that I love to read them. I love to know about culture of other countries. Thank you, Samadhi, for this answer. I'm very pleased to know this. And of course, you can add me to know more about Danish culture. This is my contacts here. I have my company page. I have Instagram. And you can sign up for these resources to see articles about speech structure. Originally, they are in Russian, but you can push the button and translate them. About self-presentation for job interview or for presentation of your future project. About some techniques for the speech preparation. And some interesting facts about Denmark. So we still have 5 minutes more. So I would like to say thank you. And if you have any questions during 5 minutes, I will be happy to answer.
Okay, Ms.
Yes,
Irina.
Vinati, excuse me. Yes. Yes, Speech Master Nimsara Devini. Right. Could you talk to Miss Irina? Only 2 questions, but you can ask.
I assume that speech master started to ask something, but I cannot hear it now. So maybe I can ask you about feedback. Was it interesting for you? Did you learn anything new, guys?
Nimsara, yes, can you speak?
Hi, good evening, Miss Irina.
Miss Irina, what's your ideas for the public speaking?
Once again, could you repeat your question, please?
What's your ideas for the public speaking?
What do you mean by adjust?
What's your ideas for the public speaking?
Ideas.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for I misheard you. I have the whole course about public speaking. It consists of 8 lessons. Firstly, of course, you have to have a key message in your mind. Why are you here? Why are you speaking? For example, tonight, I had the main idea that I should share some aspects of my experience, some aspects of my life with you in order you would know better why you should learn more about cultural differences, and in order to motivate you to read the books, to watch videos in English, etc., etc. And when keeping in mind this key message, my key value for tonight, I'm not so nervous and I can go strictly alongside the scenario of my speech. And that's one advice how to structure your speech. So keep looking on your main idea. The main idea means that afterwards, your audience will forget everything that you just said, but they will remember this main idea. And the main idea for tonight is you should learn more about culture of different countries. Another idea, of course, is to think about timing, is to remember that you are in time limits. So I prepared my speech for 30 minutes and I'm very glad that I'm just in time for tonight. And another idea is to have a definite speech structure in order it would be easier for your audience to follow your steps and to remember better what are you talking about. For example, tonight I have a structure. Firstly, introduction, afterwards, short examples. Did you know something? Afterwards, 3 examples from my own life and the conclusion. There are a lot more ideas. I can't share everything right now as we are limited in time, but thank you for this question, Nimsara.
Okay, thank you, Miss Irina.
Yes. Next, Onita Kim sir, you can ask a question, one question from Miss Irina.
Okay.
One question.
Hey, hi, Miss Irina.
Hi.
Madam.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. It's my first time actually with such a great audience and with such a young audience. And I felt great and I have a feeling that it was okay tonight. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. What's your idea of public speaking?
What is my idea of public
I
speaking?
think, Miss Irina, right, you have given right ideas for the public speaking. Yeah. Could I move to the next? Yes, speech master Bindu Javardhana.
Okay, my dear friends. I have a surprise for all of you. Do you know, previous week we went to the Sirius TV. Do you know how they went for that Sirius TV? Under the guidance of the United States, our speech masters got as and voted as ambassadors. I can say it with that great proud because they are only the first ambassador in this Sri Lanka that was so proud for international language school. So that's not the hot news. The hot news is on this Sunday, our article about the ambassadors is go and published about on the media. Okay, not only that, ILS mean done different things with the different and suitable occasions. That the moment also I told. So, not only dancers, not only the speakers, we have the singers too. Welcome. This is a speech master Senita Lesandul to sing a beautiful song on this stage.
First thing first, I'ma say all the words are in my head. I'm far off the car, off the bed, the thing so better. Ooh, the bed, the thing so better. Ooh. Second thing, second, don't tell me what to think that I'm the beat. I'm the one at the cell, I'm the master of Basio. Ooh, the master of Masio. Ooh. I was broken from a young age, I'm soaking to the master of my poem, to the fuel, look at me, tickle me, shaking me, feeling me, stomach, my heart is for the pain, shaking my master, for the meaning, shaking my listen, for the brain, shaking my beauty, to the I pain, man me up, believer, pain. You break me down to build me up, believer, pain. Oh, let me just fly off the way. My love, the one I came from. I pain, man me up, believer. Thinking thoughts and the day you to want about all that I have, you are earth has to turn despite the freedom. Ooh, the spirit of power. Ooh, I was choking in the crowd, in the mountain, of the crowd from the rocket, of the ground, hopping and rocking, they would go by nibbity, dibbity, every dibbity, dibbity, rain down, it rain down, right. I pay, man me up, believer, pay, you pick me up, believer, pay, oh let me go fly off the way, my love, where I came from, pay, you man me up, believer, lost by your grace of the fire and the flame. You are face of the future, the blood in my veins. So, ooh, the blood in my veins. On every beat, rain down, rain down, rain. You make me a believer, pay. You break me down to build me up, believer, pay. Oh, let me just fly off the way. My love, the pain from. I pay, met me out, believer. Thank you.
Yes, super cool, right? That song for you, Miss Irina. So, right, I know, right? You have a social meeting, right? Today. Then, right, we are going to wrap up this beautiful meeting. So, as a chief guest, right, you have given many things to us. Thank you very much. I'm not going to say thank you to you, my beautiful student, and our president, and our super senior speech master and ambassador. Tadini Dhammya is going to say thank you to you. This is speech master Tadini Dhammya.
Madam, thank you very much for joining us today. We learned lots of things with your advices. So I request you, please come back and help us again. Thank you very much for your valuable time. My friends, I'm sure you will do your work with the advices of our best grammarian. Madam Irina. So, we are so happy to have a best evaluator like you, madam. And I want to thank our principal of the International Language School, Mr. Sampan Navaratna, for this valuable chance for us. And also International Speech Masters and Student Union. Thank you very much, all the participants who worked really hard for this program. And again, thank you so much everyone for joining us today. I'm Super Senior Speech Master Tadini Dhamya from Sri Lanka. Have a nice day, madam.
Thank you, Tadini, and thank you, Sunita, for this wonderful song. I really enjoyed this musical break. It was interesting experience for me, and I assume it was something useful for you in my workshop tonight. Hope to see you again and have a great evening. So bye. See you next time.
Thank you very much.
Bye, madam.
Bye, madam. Thank you for joining.
Yes, right. Okay. Good evening, right, again. And right. Thank you very much for coming our program. So, right, we have many programs talking with some other foreign friends, mentors, educational persons. So please stay with us. Thank you very much. Bye for now. We are speech masters in Sri Lanka. So hope you, right, you can see our article, the leading paper on coming Sunday, Mihira, right? You can find our article. You can find our details about the and our details about our ambassadors, right? Thank you very much. Bye for now. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.